Ladies and gentlemen, all across the world today, people are watching. They are watching very closely what is happening in Nigeria, a country that should be a beacon of hope, a country filled with amazing, hardworking people, a country with enormous potential. And yet, Nigeria is facing a crisis of leadership, a crisis of justice, and a crisis of human rights. And I am here today to speak out very strongly, very clearly, because silence in the face of injustice is not acceptable. We must tell the truth. We must say it as it island. I am calling very strongly for the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. He has been unjustly detained, persecuted, and silenced simply because he stood up for his people. He raised his voice for the Igbo people, and for that, he has been punished. That is not democracy. That is not freedom. That is persecution. The Igbo people are some of the most talented, resilient, and innovative people in Africa. They have built businesses. They have contributed to the economy. They have survived a terrible civil war, and yet, decades later, they are still treated as second-class citizens in their own country. This is wrong. Totally wrong. And let me say this. When a government fears the voice of its own citizens, that government has lost its way. When a government locks up leaders instead of listening to them, it is not leading with strength, it is leading with fear. Nigeria must do better. The world is watching. But it is not only about Nnamdi Kanu and the Igbo people. We must also speak about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Too many times, churches have been attacked, burned to the ground. Too many families have lost loved ones. Too many innocent men, women, and children have been slaughtered simply for their faith. It is one of the great human rights tragedies of our time, and it is happening right now. Every man and woman should have the right to worship freely, to gather in peace, and to live without fear of being attacked. Religious freedom is not negotiable. It is a God-given right. And when Christians are being murdered and their voices are being ignored, that is not only a Nigerian problem, that is a global problem. To the leaders of Nigeria, I say this: the world is watching you. History is watching you. Release Nnamdi Kanu. Stop the persecution of the Igbo people. Protect Christians across your land. Show the world that you are ready for peace, for justice, for fairness, because a nation that persecutes its own people cannot stand strong. To the international community, I say, do not remain silent. Do not turn your back. Silence only empowers the oppressor. We must speak for those who cannot speak. We must stand for those who are silenced. The people of Nigeria deserve the same freedoms, the same justice, and the same dignity as every other people on earth. I say to the Nigerian youth, you are the future. You are strong, you are smart, and you are the hope of your nation. Do not lose hope. Do not be afraid to stand for justice, because the world is beginning to hear your voices. And I say to the Igbo people, your struggle is seen, your pain is recognized, your contributions to Nigeria, to Africa, and to the world will never be erased. You are not forgotten, and you will never be forgotten. Let this be a turning point. Let this be the time when justice prevails. Let this be the moment when the government listens to the cries of its people. The immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu is the first step toward healing, toward peace, toward unity. Nigeria is too great a country to be torn apart by division, injustice, and persecution. It is time to choose freedom over fear, justice over oppression, and unity over division. So once again, I am calling, as strongly as possible, release Nnamdi Kanu now. Protect the Igbo people. Protect the Christians. Restore freedom. Restore justice. Restore hope. God bless the people of Nigeria. God bless the oppressed. And God bless the freedom-loving people all over the world. Thank you.
Another global attention where we begin to see infiltration of international community, ICC, world leaders, world court, international criminal justice coming to look at actually what did this guy do. First of all, based on that act, Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to face any trial.
Mr. Shinadu, do you think that Nnamdi Kanu is doing all these things for him to get sympathy from the international community? Or he actually know what he's doing?
Nnamdi Kanu is not seeking for sympathy.
Because last time, why I'm saying this last time? All right, good morning, viewers. This CNC News reporting live here is Casey. Here with me is Mr. Chinedu. Mr. Chinedu, good morning.
Good morning.
So let me have your reaction concerning what is going on now in the case of Nnamdi Kanu versus the federal government of Nigeria. Mr. Chinedu, it is reported that Justice Omotosho have decided to sentence Nnamdi Kanu to 20 years imprisonment. Do you agree with Justice Omotosho that Nnamdi Kanu should be sentenced to 20 years imprisonment if Nnamdi Kanu fails to open his defense?
Right, Nnamdi Kanu will not even talk about opening his defense until the federal government be able to do the needful. They are the one that kept Victor Omotosho there. They gave him that appointment after all judges have refused to preside over Nnamdi Kanu's case. Judge Omotosho, was planted there, no doubt about it, But outside that, is he trying to tell us that another type of constitution will be used against Nnamdi Kanu? Well, unfortunately, Nnamdi Kanu is already directly engaged with them, and he has come out to say it. Let the law, because we have extant law and the ones that are repealed. Are you going to try Nnamdi Kanu based on extant law, or are you going to try Nnamdi Kanu based on the one that is repealed? Or are you going to manufacture, judgment like the doctrine of necessity we saw during Jonathan, just to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is being sent to jail to satisfy the Fulani hegemony? If the question is left for Omotosho, the whole world is watching, and I can tell you there are reactions from all over the world. Senior legal luminaries are reacting to the case of Nnamdi Kanu. And I can tell you that if the Supreme Court has said that the matter should be referred to the appeal court judgment, you first of all obey the court of appeal judgment. You refuse. Then you plan to sentence him 20 years imprisonment. Secondly, what is Nnamdi Kanu doing in DSS custody when it was clear that he was illegally rendition, and there's a Supreme Court judgment that someone that was illegally taken, kidnapped, brought back without due process, according to national and international law, there's no court of competent jurisdiction that have that powers legally to try Nnamdi Kanu. Nigeria will continue to thrive in illegality. Nnamdi Kanu is a symbol of resistance, no doubt about that.
All right, Mr. Chinedu, do you think that Nnamdi Kanu has what it takes to defend himself after the sacking of his legal counsel?
No, Nnamdi Kanu might not have what it takes to defend himself. Then they should be able to rewrite whatever law that is going to be used to judge Nnamdi Kanu. And that is what I said. The extant law and the one that is repealed. Which one? And what Nnamdi Kanu is asking, which one are you going to use to try me? You have no justification for that. But in a situation where the Nigeria Bar Association, unfortunately, we have lost Nigeria as an entity. The Nigerian judiciary that is supposed to be independent to defend humanity, whatever the reason is, from terrorism to felony, from felony to terrorism, Nnamdi Kanu is not being charged because of self-determination, because Nigeria is signatory to it. If to go on that direction, which was Nnamdi Kanu is campaigning for, that means they will end up complicating the judicial process at the end of the day, because Nigeria is signatory to it. Now, they brought up charges of linking Nnamdi Kanu to terrorism. They brought up charges linking him to treasonable felony. They also went as far as, contravening Commonwealth treaties between Nigeria and other Commonwealth nations, and kidnap. That thing is pure kidnap. That's a criminal offense. So on that basis, the Supreme Court has already ruled that someone that was brought through this process supposed not to face trial. Nigerian government is actually looking for something. You don't know why judges are running away from Nnamdi Kanu. Now, Nnamdi Kanu have decided to embark on suicide mission. Pure suicide mission. And I can tell you.
Against himself or against Nigeria?
See, bros, let me tell you, against every system. You understand what I'm saying? Against every system that's conspired against an existing constitution. What Nnamdi Kanu is saying is that, that the constitution of Nigeria should at least, the law of Nigeria should at least be obeyed. I think it's as simple as that. Obey the constitution of Nigeria. Some of those things has been are extra clause, or the one that have been repealed. Why are you now using it as a measure to determine a case of trial that has to do with felony, treasonable, terrorism charges? For me, I don't think it is worth it. Now, on that, let me tell you too, there was issue of no case submission when the federal government themselves closed their defense. And from the file presented to, I will tell you why there's someone also is planning to name Nnamdi Kanu 20 years or thereafter, if eventually succeed. Then, if you look at that now, the case file does not show any charges that is against Nnamdi Kanu. Every other thing has been passed. But because of, they say, national security and interest, not based on law, according to the reason some of the loyalists of what also is given, the Nnamdi Kanu, based on national security, they have to try him and jail him, not based on what already is being stated in the constitution. But it will be very difficult because this kind of matter is what will attract a world court order. Bro, we have
okay, I was about bringing you in based on the World Court matter because it is reported that the case file has been sent to the World Court and then been studying the case file of Nnamdi Kanu. So let me have your reaction. Do you think the World Court will come into in after if eventually Nigeria sent Nnamdi Kanu to maybe some years in prison? Do you think the World Court will come in?
He will not do that because there will be uprising. Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any offense. And that is what Sowore is telling the whole world. He never committed any offense. In February, October or thereabout, 2017 or thereabout, Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a certain statement. He said, I do not believe in Nigeria. That is a treasonable phenomenon. Are they not supposed to arrest him? T.Y. Danjuma called for self-defense. Take up arms. Are they not supposed to arrest T.Y. Danjuma? What is the offense of somebody? When has wars become violent? What? That everybody, including those in power today, used against Jonathan, Goodluck Jonathan. You see, and that is why the Igbo man have come to understand his position in Nigeria and why he has been kept by an act of oppression with the only interest to savage and loot the resources that belong to the East. They see Nnamdi Kanu as a resistant voice, as someone who is stopping the agenda. Nnamdi Kanu's trial, as we see the way it's going, is going to attract another global attention where we begin to see infiltration of international community, ICC, world leaders, world court, international criminal justice coming to look at actually what did this guy do. First of all, based on that act, Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to face any trial.
Mr. Chinedu, do you think that Nnamdi Kanu is doing all these things for him to get sympathy from the international community, or he actually know what he's doing?
No, Nnamdi Kanu is not seeking for sympathy.
Because last time, why am I saying this? Last time.